MIDI packs have a terrible reputation for a good reason. Most of them are pre-recorded performances of specific chord progressions transposed into several different musical keys. The problem with that is that most musicians are trying to create original music. So, can we create original chord progressions with a MIDI pack? Well, that is exactly why I created Toolbox. Toolbox contains both MIDI files and MPC patterns, meaning you can use it both in your DAW and on your external MPC sampler. In this video, I'll show you how to quickly compose an original chord progression in Ableton and how to import these files and use them with an MPC. So let's get started. The Toolbox file organization and naming convention make it easy to use. Files come organized in two ways, by major and minor key, and by root for even more flexibility. When working in a particular musical key, the chords will be displayed in order based on their position in the musical scale. The appropriate Roman numeral is also displayed. Chords are in close voicing and anchored around middle C for easy transposition. You'll also notice that there are several chord substitutions and extensions available. This is part of what makes Toolbox easy to use. All the files in this folder can be used to compose something unique. Let's look at an example. Here we have the chords from the key of F minor set up in Ableton in order. The MIDI files are named for the root note of the chord. That means we can immediately see two things about this musical key. It is made up of 7 notes and chords, which are F, G, A flat or G sharp, B flat or A sharp, C, D flat or C sharp, and E flat or D sharp. So to simplify this from a theory standpoint, that means we can use any of these chords and notes to create our composition. One of the things that's nice about setting this up in Ableton like this is that it makes it easy to trial chord progressions until you find something you like. Let's explore a few options. Once we identify something with the right feeling, we can simply copy and paste these chords into the order we want to use them. Looking at the MIDI clips, we can quickly see that some of these notes are shared between the chords. This is a good time to think about voice leading and how we could potentially use this information to create a composition that doesn't just use block chords. We can also expand the voicing of the chords so they sound more open. You can shift any note or combination of notes up or down an octave as you please. We can easily create a bass line with the root notes of our chords. Finally, let's add another instrument at a higher octave. There we go. That sounds pretty good for a quick example. The MIDI files in MPC Patterns can also be used on your MPC or Force in exactly the same way. Try importing the files and setting them up with an instrument to find something you like. From here, you can expand this into a complete track. Another option is to render out these chords as samples so that you can set them up individually on your pads, making them easy to play. For even more control, render out the individual notes of a chord and set them up on a single pad using the offset feature. This allows you to trigger the chord in a more natural way from a single pad. Toolbox is one of several products we launched earlier this year at South by Southwest. I'll leave a link to the testimonial videos from the show in the description if you want to see what other musicians have to say about the tools we have in Mood Crate. Toolbox is available now at moodcrate.com. Get it today and start exploring new chord progressions and new musical keys.